Hey guys, welcome to Book with Keyboard, the podcast where we talk about reading culture and all the opinions that come with being emotionally attached to fictional characters. I'm your host, Keyboard. Whether you're reading on a Kindle, listening to an audiobook, or trying to get out of a reading slump, you're in the right place. Let's get booked. Today, I want to talk about the bookish community, not the drama, not the scandal, not the latest controversy, because we know there's always some controversy out there. I want to talk about some of the conversations and trends I've been noticing as a reader. These aren't necessarily things that I've have all the answers to, but I do have opinions on. There's just topic that keeps coming up in the reader space and things I've found myself thinking about lately. So today we are going to be discussing rating books that we did not finish, authors in reader space, why we only seem to trust recommendation from large accounts, whether every book talk recommendation is actually worth reading multiple books at once, and why every series suddenly needs 5 to 10 books. No. So let's get into it. One of the most debated topic in the book community. Can you rate a book that you didn't finish? And honestly, I think the answer depends. If you read 5 pages, skim the first chapters, and immediately quit, then no. I don't think you have enough information to fully evaluate the entire book. But if you have read 50% or even 70% and still decide to DNF the book, I think the experience matters. Because if a book was frustrating enough, boring enough, confusing enough, or disappointing enough to make you stop reading, that's a part of the reading experience too. No, should someone who stopped 20% be reviewing plot twists and ending they never read? Absolutely no. Craziness. But can they explain why they stopped? Sure. And honestly, some of the most useful reviews I've ever seen has been thoughtful DNF reviews. It's nothing too crazy. They're telling what they were experienced. Because sometimes knowing why a reader quits help you to decide whether the book is a good fit for me or not. Let's talk about authors in reader space. This is one of the most interesting conversation happening right now. Should authors be in reader space? And before anyone misunderstand me, I absolutely believe that authors should be able to interact with readers. Books exist because authors write them. We are the targeted audience. But I also think readers need space where they can discuss book honestly. Sometimes those two things become complicated. And because if readers know authors might see their reviews, or the author friends might see their reviews, or dedicated fan might show up in the comments, you know how these people go. Some readers start censoring themselves. I've seen reviews where the first half of the review is like they're apologizing before they actually saying that they didn't enjoy the book. And that makes me wonder, are readers becoming less honest because they are worried about the backlash? And at the same time, I don't think authors should completely ignore reviews either. Constructive criticism can be useful. Writers improve through feedback. And that is something that I truly believe. If this didn't work for this book, whatever was said in constructive criticism review, you can use it to build on whatever the next book is going to be like. But there's a difference. I did not enjoy this book because of the pacing. It felt slow. Comparing the author is terrible. One criticism is to work on whatever you have, and the other is criticizing the person. And these are two different things. Why do we only trust big accounts? This is something that I've been thinking about lately. Why do we tend to trust recommendations from large creators more than small readers? Because some of my favorite books are recommended by people with smaller platforms. Readers with probably 200, 500, with small book clubs, random good read reviews. That's hardly ever, but it still count. And honestly, a large following does not automatically mean someone has a better taste than you. It just means that more people found their content. Sometimes I think we're missing incredible recommendation because we're all looking at the same handful of creators, and there's so many readers out there with amazing insight that never make it into the larger conversation. And I think that affect how what we're reading. And this leads into the other topic. Not every book talk book is worth the hype. No, let's be honest. Not every trending book is amazing. That's okay. A book becoming popular does not automatically makes it good. Just like a book being unpopular doesn't make it automatically bad. I've definitely picked up books because everybody was talking about them, and sometimes they become one of the most favorite. But other times I finish it and I'm wondering, why did I waste my time? And I think one of the biggest challenge readers face today is separating the hype from personal taste. Sometimes we're so excited about what everyone else loves that we forget to ask, is this actually something that I enjoy? And honestly, I love to see more variety in recommendation space because sometimes it feels like we're recommending the same 10 books over and over again. Meanwhile, there are thousands of incredible books getting no attention. This is the other part that puzzles me. How are people reading multiple books at once? I genuinely want an answer here because some readers are juggling one ebook, one audiobook, one physical book, one body read, and some more another fantasy series. How do you juggle that? That's like about 5 books right there, all at the same time. Meanwhile, I'm here trying to remember everybody's name in one book. And I know some readers says it's helped them to avoid a slump. Others like having different books for different moods. And honestly, I understand that. Like 1 or 2 books. And I find it very fascinating someone reading 4 books at once. How do you keep up with that? So if you're one of those readers managing 4 books at once, I need you to explain the process because I'm impressed. Where is the duologies and the trilogies gone? Can we talk about this? Because why does every series suddenly need 5, 6, 7, 10 books? Don't get me wrong, I love spending time with these characters, but not every side character needs a book. But sometimes I miss stories that knew exactly how long they need to be. And there was something satisfying about picking up a trilogy and knowing, okay, I can commit to this. A lot of times I want to try a series or try an author, but it's 10 books in the series, and that's kind of intimidating at this point in time, knowing my schedule and work. No, every time I start a series, I discover there's a spin-off, companion novels, novellas, interconnected universes. I can deal with interconnected universes. And suddenly my TBR has become a full-time job. Come on. As a mood reader, long series can be intimidating, as I've been saying. Sometimes I don't want to commit to 8 books before I like the first one. So genuinely, I want to know, do readers actually prefer these massive series, or this is just a cash grab, or the authors are leaning for longer series because it's more successful? I want to really know. But one of the things I love the most about the book community is there's always conversation happening. And honestly, I don't think these questions have one right answers. There are conversations worth having. So tell me, can you rate a book that you did not finish? Should authors be active in reader space? Do you trust recommendations from small creators? How many books are you currently reading right now? And where have all the trilogies gone? Because I genuinely want to hear your thoughts. Thanks for spending some time with me here on Book with Kiba. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the podcast, share it with a fellow reader. Until next time, happy reading and stay booked.